Superman, the Kryptonite Spectrum, issue 3, with W. Maxwell Prince writing, Martin Morazzo on the art. So this came out a couple of weeks ago, and it was a busy week. Matt didn't get to it, so I said, you know what, we'll just leave it till week 5. No, I did read it that week. So, like, I remember this being, Billy slash, Shazam hanging out with Superman, or Superboy, I should say. But it's been a few weeks for me, so I'm going to let Matt drive this one a little bit.
I got you. Sweet. All right, so we got that the last Kryptonite had essentially de-aged Superman, right? And so now he's hanging out in Fawcett with Billy, and they're playing this weird board game, and everything that Billy does, it's because Captain Marvel and Clark's just like, I haven't seen Kryptonite Man in a decade, and Billy's like, right? How old were you, 4? Right? Because Billy's not putting this all together, right, with Superman and him. And yeah, so they get talking, and Billy tells Clark that, why don't you draw your feelings? Because Clark's having a hard time dealing with this. Because that's what my therapist had told me to do.
Yeah, so we get a page from him. We also get a page from Billy where they kind of recap their origins with crayon drawings.
Yes, with sketches from that, which was a really a fun way of doing that, right? And at the same time they're talking, we have Savannah and Toyman teaming up with Lex to create this trap of an amusement park. Amusement park.
Yeah, I was going to say it. This is probably my least favorite of these 3 issues because this plan is so absurd that it took me out of it a little bit.
It's definitely one where I can see the blueprint of what the creators wanted to do, right? Because they're talking about, this is all about looking back at your youth with those rose-colored glasses and how that can always be a trap, right? You got to enjoy the now as much as you did, think about how much you enjoyed that. So the fact that they call it Nostalgia Springs, right? And it's this theme park or amusement park that's meant to trap Shazam and Superboy, through these different rides, and we go through it. But there's a really weird looking Toyman here where he looks like one of the theme park characters that you would meet. He has one of the big plastic heads.
Yeah, with the cut out eyes, so it's kind of creepy. He's got a horror movie look to him.
Very unsettling, I will say, 100%. So that's after we get the Clark drawing out, his origin and stuff, and then Billy getting his. Billy gets this in the mail for the opening, and he Shazams. They go and check it out, and it's empty, which doesn't ring well for Clark. And Toyman makes the appearance, and we get these Bizarro robots that come through, and we get a real good joke here where it's using the code. It says repeat what person says, but invert vocal output, and it says end. It's like the end of the code. And Savannah's like, well, no, they're not supposed to be talking like that. Flip the switch. So they flip it, and now they start doing Bizarro speech, which I thought was very funny because it shows that they still didn't iron everything out, right? Savannah and Toyman don't necessarily work well together. And Billy and Clark end up on the canonical coaster of doom, which again, I feel is just the creatives trying to be a bit meta here. Focusing on that one, they end up going through a version of the Rock of Eternity, where there's a animatronic of the wizard. Looks like he's singing "It's a Small World" after all, which I thought was funny. And the 7 deadly sins of man get up and start attacking, and we get a fun action sequence drawn out by Billy on how to defeat them, which I thought was really fun, right? So he says Pride tried dealing a blow to my ego, but I showed him prejudice instead, right? And it's him hitting a hook in on him. And then they notice that there's another track in this ride, and now it's shaped like a rocket, and we get to go through the end of Krypton. And everything explodes, which leads to a face-off between Savannah and
Toyman put a lot of effort into this ride. I'm just going to say that right now. This is a lot of work.
It's kind of Toyman's thing. So while our heroes are doing this, it cuts to Lois and confronting Luthor, which I thought was a real fun scene. And he has this toy that's the Vitruvian Man, right? That's the Da Vinci sketch. But it also whispers things. It's something that Toyman had created to drive kids insane, which I thought was, again, like super, super evil, right?
That's a funny
he's
bit.
developing toys. Yeah. And also we go to the Batcave where Batman has synthesized a way to return Superman back to his regular age, where he's what looks like crossing inert kryptonite in with the radiation of the whatever kryptonite color turned him into a kid.
Isn't there also something here about how these new kryptonites are like a distress call from like possibly the fifth dimension or something? Yeah,
that's sort of the last one, the rainbow one, isn't actually a piece of krypton or matter. It's a distress signal from the fifth dimension. And as Bruce says, that's this absolute strangest of places, you know, where ideas take form of magical imps and mischief-inclined mites. So a bit of a where this is kind of going. I feel like we're gonna get some imp action here towards the last two issues.
It's not actually that weird. The fifth dimension's exactly like our dimension. The only difference is the 3 seashells in the bathroom.
This guy doesn't know how to use the shells.
I got chuckle. Yeah.
So Batman hits the he takes out Toyman and Savannah and hits Clark with the antidote, and he returns back to his real form. But he notices Superman notices a distress call in the underlying cellular morphology of the design of the kryptonite, right? Of the rainbow portion, and it says "Help Mixie." So Superman ends up counting to 5 and saying his name backwards, and he transports what looks like into the Daily Planet office with this rainbow balloon hanging over him.
Yeah,
and
so
that's where the issue ends.
Which obviously, like, is this the regular Daily Planet? Is he in the Daily Planet on the fifth dimension? Is this some weird, just sort of mock version of it? That would be my first question with this ending.
Well, and there's a little creepy guy hiding under a desk with a he. So
that's right.
I'm wondering what that's about. So
an evil imp.
You know, definitely feels like a trap, because everything that we've seen with the imps for the most part is they're mostly just mischievous. Like, the thing I love about Mxyzptlk is he just wants to mess with Superman. Like, it's this thing where he doesn't really want to cause any harm. If he wanted to, he could, right? That was kind of the crux of Morrison's action. Where, like, what if there was a bad imp? So I think it's fun that we're returning back to that here. You know, whatever has infected the fifth.
Yeah. No, I mean, this is still a solid issue, don't get me wrong. Obviously, the art's very consistent with what it's been. It's a very pleasant read. I just think it's my least favorite of the three because I thought the exploration of the different kryptonites in the first issue and that whole time warping his brain stuff was really cool and interesting. I think the whole giant size kaiju, but also like getting hit with the red kryptonite stuff was really, really cool and fun and felt epic. This, by its nature, just was like, oh, he's just hanging out with Billy Batson for like a day and they get into some hijinks. Just was inherently, I think, less exciting to me. Especially since, you know, he's technically the size of like teenage Clark Kent, he's still mentally still him. Right? So, I don't know. I don't know if this led to as much of a fun exploration of something new as the other two Kryptonites did for me, but not bad, certainly. Not bad at all.
No, not at all. And you know, I do love the fifth dimension in Mxyzptlk, so I love to see where this goes and why this distress signal ended up in this big lump of different colored kryptonite, right? Like, is this a fifth dimensional thing? Is this this is where they came from originally or whatever? So yeah, very, very curious to see where it goes. But yeah, this one, you know, the whole nostalgia springs, and I like it, but I can see the blueprint a little bit too clearly. So, but yeah, fun read.
Sure, yeah. All right, what are you giving Superman the Kryptonite Spectrum?
I'm gonna give this a. The art was really solid, I think, too. Storytelling a bit off. I'll give it a 7.5.
I think I'll agree with that. 7.5. I think it was good. Like, I don't want to be too negative because it's not bad. It's just I just didn't like it as much as issue 1 and 2. from a story perspective, but there's still fun touches in there, there's still nice moments, and the art is very consistent, so it's hard to complain.